Welcome to our winter warmer episode. So we're going to do some really cool drinks here for middle of winter. You go up to the ski fields maybe got a Christmas in July party or something like that in Melbourne or Australia. So these are our top picks of what you can make at home.
I'm going to show you how to make them. We're going some classics, some foreign, and some weird.
Okay, so what have we got here? We've got basically the classic being the mulled red wine. Then we've got an apple mulled wine or an apple cider.
Mulled cider.
Sorry, that's your one. And then a little invention here I've got is the apple pie recipe. So this is a bit of an odd one, and we're going to try that as well.
Will it be any good?
Let's get into it. Mulled wine. Now, you guys want to make mulled wine, so I'm going to show you a little trick that I came up with a little while ago, and this is a great way to make mulled wine. Firstly, start with some pretty crap cheap stuff, because like you don't waste your top shelf Penfolds, Grange on this type of thing, right?
Don't spend more than the cheapest cask in the shop.
That is it, yeah. If you can get one which has some fruity stuff, maybe a Merlot backbone, maybe that would be good, but honestly it doesn't make that much difference.
Okay, Aldi, it's fine.
Yeah, Aldi, whatever cheap stuff, Lidl, if that's what you got in your country, or I don't even know if they sell wine, anyway.
Yeah.
So I've got the bladder here. Now most people, what they would do is they just pour this wine straight out into a pot and heat it up. Now there is a problem with that. Is your alcohol, it's going to evaporate to atmosphere, and obviously we don't want that. We're here to party.
We don't want that.
Yeah, we want to basically keep that in the bag. So one way to ensure that is we are going to get all of these nice herbs and spices, and I've got a few goodies on this plate here. So I've got here some cloves. You can use cinnamon. We're using Cassia bark. Both will work perfectly fine. We actually have the bulk bags of Cassia bark on the KegLand website, and they're really good value. Same with the star anise. We sell them on the website for people wanting to make gin. So yeah, we've got some of those as well. Helps if the pieces aren't so massive for this. So you want to get them down to a size where they're sort of like about that. So sometimes you need to sort of crack them in half or whatever.
Just narrow enough to get through the neck.
Narrow enough to get to the neck. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed these into this hole, and it's perfect if you've got a beautiful assistant like Brady right here. So what we're going to do is going to get this valve and pull this open, and we're going to start stuffing stuff into this bladder. Now, another thing I should say is most of these types of, fairly cheap wines have quite a lot of preservative in there. So my experience has been, even if I pull this open, when I put the lid back on, if I do it fairly swiftly and also try to squeeze the air out, the bladder actually lasts with the herbs and stuff in there for actually quite some time. So I've done it for months and opened it up, and it basically made mulled wine. So it's also kind of handy because what you don't use, you can actually like reheat up the next time. So kind of handy in that respect too. So another little tip I'm going to give you is when you do this with these bladders, there's different bladder necks. I find these funny taps, as much as they come on the more fancy bladders, these ones can be hard to pry out. So I tend to, for this trick, if it's possible, go for these ones where it's a whole rubber, a single rubber black piece like that.
Yeah, once you force those other ones in, when we fill these, as soon as you force it fully down.
Yeah, it's hard to get out.
It's pretty difficult, yeah.
Yeah, you can get a butter knife or something like that to kind of pry it out. It can be done, but just save yourself a bit of headache if you've got the choice. So anyway, so I'm going to take this off. I'm going to pull this open like that. It also, if you use a set of pliers, if you don't have good or strong fingers, you can just do that. And then we're going to just fill this bad boy up. Thanks, Brady. Perfect. I'm going to drop all these. Here's the Cassia bark. Now, all the quantities I'm going to put in the description below, so don't stress, they're all down there. And I'm going to get them in there. I will say, the actual star anise kind of can be a bit sharp. I haven't had this issue yet. I've done this for a number of years now. But I suppose, with these starry pointy bits, I'm guessing that, you just don't want to be too rough with the bladder once you've got these sharp bits in the bladder, I suppose. And I generally haven't had an issue. I suppose if you crush them down slightly smaller, that kind of might reduce that chance of puncturing, but yeah, there we go.
I suppose there's no mess as well. Everything's going in.
It's pretty neat. It's actually ideal for like camping or something.
Yeah.
So, you're camping and you're like, like out there in the cold for like a mulled wine at the snow or something. And it's just all in one neat little bladder.
Just clean your glass. You're done.
That's it. Boom. Okay, so I've got all of those herbs in there. So I've essentially got the Cassia bark, and then I've got the cloves and the star anise already in this bladder. Now we're going to add some sugar. Now sugar is one thing that you can add honey if you really want. Look, I find it doesn't make that much difference whether you add sugar or honey, to be quite honest with you. The wine and the other spices are so strongly flavored that it kind of tends to smother any subtle sort of wine notes anyway, any honey notes anyway.
And we're going for cheap wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Get cheap sugar.
Yeah, just get cheap sugar. Could use brown sugar, maybe. You know, might make a small difference, but you know, I find just good old cane sugar works fine. In the recipe below, I actually make this at around about the 5% sweetness level. Look, I think most wines don't contribute too much. It's hard to factor in because I don't state how much sugar on the wine pack. But I suppose if you're using like a really sweet, you know, fruity wine, maybe you might lower the
Dial it back a bit.
Dial it back, but it's hard to know. But I reckon, yeah, start with around about 5% per weight.
And then we got your secret ingredients. So
here we go.
We're going to be adding a bit more spice just to jazz it up a bit even more. So we got some triple sec, orange liqueur, the Impressence orange liqueur, and the spiced rum to add some rum flavors and additional spices.
Definitely.
So what are we going for in terms of measurements? Because
I reckon you want to go about, start with about a teaspoon. You don't need a great deal. Obviously this whole pack is designed to be enough rum to essentially make 1.25 litres. So look, you only need, that's 50 mils. So even if you were to pour a quarter of that in there, that might be getting a little bit on the high side. So just a teaspoon of that stuff is good. And then if you really love rum, you can always up it a bit if you want. So yeah, but I reckon a teaspoon is pretty good. The other thing I should say is you can also seal up if you've got a heat sealer or something like that, or some type of vacuum sealer, you can also just put this in the sealer and seal the bag back up. So you can also save the rest for next time. Pour it in a vial or something, screw the lid on, and save the rest. Now with the Contro, not Contro I should say, a lot of people do use Contro, but it's way better value if you just use the Impressence orange liqueur, because you get 50 mils of this stuff, which once again makes 1.25 litres. So we'll only need like maybe half a teaspoon or something.
Teaspoon.
We're pretty orangey.
A different spooning technique on this one.
Oh yeah, nice one. That looks easier. Perfect.
So
that's it.
Beautiful.
Cool. So literally, mulled wine is as easy as that. And you can kind of do this, as I said, ahead of time. So then you can get to the party or the weekend, have it all ready to go. Now I just popped the lid back on, like squished it on like that. Now you can see what I want to do is actually just get this and push as much of that air out as possible, because I don't really want to oxidize the wine too much. Especially if you're going to try and extend the shelf life of this product.
For those of you that are keeping your mulled wine for months.
Oh yeah, nothing like a good aged mulled wine. All right.
Now what are we doing?
All we've got here is a pot, kind of like a double boiler, with some water in here. Now the key thing is we do not want to exceed the boiling point of alcohol, which is about just under 80 degrees, so 78 degrees, something like that. So we can heat this up, and look, you wouldn't want to get it that hot anyway, because it'd be kind of so hot to be burning your lips. I think the ideal drinking temperature for mulled wine would be somewhere around 50 to 60, 65 max. It's kind of in that range, and that's definitely under that 78-degree boiling point of wine. So literally just get the whole bladder, put it in that pot of hot water like that. As you can see, it's just sort of floating away there. You can get yourself a little thermometer and just sort of keep an eye on it like that. Now, I would recommend if you've got other more advanced tools. Now we're just using like stock standard, pretty basic here, pot and water. But if you've got like one of those little sous vide machines, you know those ones you stick into the big bathtub?
Stick into a bathtub,
Yeah, so stick in one of those baths. They work awesome because you can literally set the temperature on that type of thing. And then the other thing you do is use a steamer oven. If you've got a fancy steam oven, you just chuck the whole bag in the steam oven and set it at 60 degrees. You're laughing. Or look, some other way to control the actual water temperature. So
a BrewZilla.
Yeah, BrewZilla. That's
perfect.
Perfect. All right, so anyway, we're going to leave that there for a few moments, and we'll come and taste this probably half an hour, something like that. Well, that's it. Let's have a taste. Beauty. I almost feel like I go with even slightly more rum.
I think a touch more rum.
Yeah, but that's perfect. It's such an easy drink, and look, if you're the type of person who likes a lot of commercial or like mulled cider elsewhere, you can add a little bit more sugar, but I do like it at this sort of slightly drier point. And looks such a great winter drink.
So easy. Just chuck it in the bag.
Yep.
Chuck it in some hot water.
Yep.
And you're done.
No mess. So how easy is that? The bladder in pot mulled wine method. So Brady, you've been talking about your mulled cider for ages from the motherland, and what is this stuff? I've never heard of it before. Like, what do we do?
So it's kind of like mulled wine. So similar sort of spices, add a bit of rum in there, and it's perfect on like bonfire night, which is November.
Yep.
Christmas markets, winter, and it's getting cold, and I reckon the guys at KegLand will actually love this.
Yeah, okay.
And it's super easy to make with the KegLand stuff.
Well, when you said we were heating up like a couple litres of product, I thought like perfect. I'll get out the little BrewZilla 8 litre. So I got the BrewZilla 8 litre. Do you reckon it'll work in this?
I think it'll be
because
perfect.
that way we can control the temperature.
So versatile.
There you go. Boom.
Okay, so this one is, I mean, super easy. So we're just going to dump in 2 Vinka Medium.
Yep. Now you could of course use vodka. Let's say you couldn't find the Vinka product, but look, the Vinkas are such good value. You'd always just use the Vinka.
Yep.
But like, let's say you love your distilling and make your own vodka or something like that. You just add the equivalent. So you'd add 250 mils of vodka.
Yep, and then just some sugar as well.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
just chuck a bit of sugar in to taste.
Yep.
Easy as that. We've got the Cassia bark and star anise and some cloves in there as well. So we're just gonna straight in the malt pipe.
Nice one.
And then we've got the Fizz apple cider. So no teaspoon or anything. We are just gonna get these whacked straight in.
Nice one. Oh, I can smell that already.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
2 of those in there.
And with the spiced rum, how much of that do we add? This is
I
the
reckon
Impressence
we
spiced
want
rum.
around about 10 mil
Okay.
for this
yeah,
one.
sure.
But you can just don't add it too much and then add a bit more if you need to.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a bit of a free pour type of guy, so I think I'm just going to go straight in there. Yeah, you could teaspoon it in. I guess a teaspoon is probably, I don't know, 5 mil or something like that, so a couple of those maybe. But I'm just going to go and kind of feel it. It's like 50 mil, and this feels like 10 mil to me. So it smells so good. I love that rum flavour.
And then we're just going to match the volume of the Vinka with just hot water, straight from the tap. Saves time heating up.
Nice one. And that is all done.
That's it. And then we just crank it on.
Yep.
We leave it for maybe 20 minutes. Same again, we don't want to go above, I reckon just between 50 and 60 degrees is perfect for drinking it anyway.
Okay. So I'll set it at 55 degrees. Here we go, 55 and play. Already there.
You're going to love it.
Nice one. All right, we'll come back in a tick. It feels like Christmas.
It's pretty good. All those spices, botanicals.
I can definitely see myself drinking that on a hot date. Once again, you could probably actually make this an non-alcoholic one as well.
Yeah,
Make
absolutely.
one for the kids or something like that. But look, that is genuinely tasty, and that is super easy to make. Like 2 seconds, chuck it in there, heat it up, and you're done. So I will be definitely doing that in future. Thanks, Brady.
So, Kate, what's this weird alcoholic apple pie that you've been going on about?
Okay, well, I've been experimenting a bit with my daughter. Look, I've got a daughter and she's like 9 years old and she loves making desserts and cooking with me in the kitchen. And I actually make this both as an alcoholic and non-alcoholic version, right? So it's kind of like a drink which you feel a bit fancy and the kids feel like they're getting involved in the adult stuff. But what we do is for the adult one or the kids one, we just remove this product. So this particular recipe, it's really, really simple. We've only got like this one here. So this is the Vinka Extra Dry. We've also got the apple cider seltzer pack. So this is the one that goes with the, sorry, not seltzer, just apple cider Fizz.
Yep.
And then we've also got the Impressence cream base. This cream base is used for Baileys and lots of other stuff. This one already has a bit of sugar in there, so no need to even add any sugar or anything like that in there because it's already in the base.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to sort of mix these together. We're going to heat up some of the liquids. Oh, and I've got a little bit of water as well. Now the water also, I'll say, you can vary the amount of water depending on how thick you want the end product. Now this is kind of like a dessert cocktail and it's served hot. It's weird. So, you know, it kind of goes in theme with this video. But if you like real thick, creamy stuff, like let's say you like eggnog, something like that, then you probably don't want to add too much water. If you find that type of stuff sickly, they can also top it up and increase the amount of water.
Yep.
But I'm going with 100 mils for this recipe.
And for this one, because we are using extra dry Vinka, if you are swapping it out for vodka, no sugar, it's just a straight.
Just straight
pretty much
swap.
half and half. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so we're using 250 mils of the Vinka base, and if you use vodka, it'd be 125 mils equivalent. So, and then obviously replace the rest of that 125, another 125 with extra water to replace it.
Should we get it in?
Right, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so we'll get that one in, and we can also get the water in as well. So we've got the water and the base in there. All right, so those two made up in there, and that's about 350 mils. And we're going to heat this up. Now, you could try to just stir in the product in its this powder. You could try to stir it in just in cold product, but I do find it's a little bit easier. It does dissolve a little bit faster if you just warm it up, and helps get like a few lumps of the creamer out just when it goes in.
So what are we going for before we start mixing it in?
Well, once again, we don't want to boil the alcohol off. That's kind of almost the theme of this video, but like you want to get this up to like under your 78 degree boiling point of alcohol, of course. But the other thing you have to be worried about with the creamer is you don't want to split, no type of creams or anything like that, you don't want to split them. So I reckon just heat it up almost, that's enough actually. Yeah, whoa, that was quick. Yeah, this induction thing's fast. So we're just hitting like that, just over 50 degrees or 50 degrees. That's kind of perfect, just like warm water. So that's looking good. Now what we're gonna do is gonna put this over onto the scales here, and we're targeting about 150 grams of this powder in there. Okay, so we've got that one open. Now we're just gonna pour this in. And that is bang on 150 grams right there. Okay, we're gonna stir that in, and of course, the Impressence apple cider, we're gonna get that in, and we're gonna give this a bit of a stir just until those lumps are out of the way. All right, so literally that is it. It's taken only a few minutes to make that one. In fact, I might just pour this one out straight away, and I reckon it's also great if you garnish it with a little bit of cinnamon. Okay, cheers.
Cheers, mate. It's actually really good. So Key's been going on about this for weeks, maybe even months.
Yeah.
And it's actually really good.
And it is so easy to make.
Took what? 5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, literally like,
not even that.
Not even 5 minutes, and you got some delicious apple pie cocktail.
So if you want something a little more exciting than just mulled wine, these are some great options for you.
Fantastic. Now, of course, if you want to hear about any other cool stuff that's coming out or all the other stuff we're working on, bottom right-hand corner, hit subscribe now, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. Give us a thumbs up, the like button down there too. The other thing you do is join our Facebook homebrew community group. There's lots of guys just like yourself sharing tips and tricks on how to use all our stuff, and even your own recipes. So I'd love to hear from you. So if you've got any good other, winter warmer recipes, put them in the comments below. All right, thanks for that.
Cheers, guys.
See you next time.
You can drink that one. Fucking cinnamon challenge.